Hey guys, welcome inside the Hog Pen. I am your host, Razorback Zach, alongside my broadcast partner and friend for almost a decade, Josh Hopkins. We want to welcome everybody into the Hog Pen this week. Hope everybody had a good week. I know I did. Birth of my son on Friday. Basketball team started out 2-0. If you want to go watch the Razorbacks, whether it be basketball, baseball, or the last two football games, go see my friends out at Boudreaux's Bar and Grill out in North Little Rock, 9811 Maumelle Boulevard. Just off of Interstate 430. Roger Scott from 103.7 The Buzz holds a watch party out there from opening kick to the final buzzer. You can get free giveaways, t-shirts, koozies, cups, posters, sport clips, has haircuts, you name it. He's got prizes valued anywhere from $5 to $5 million. Just go see him. That's every football Saturday for the next 2 weeks. That's all we have left. 9811 Maumelle Boulevard. Out in North Little Rock. I want to welcome our new one of our new groups in that has liked our page, the SEC Uncensored page on Facebook. I know, Josh, you and I are friends on there. All the guys out there, Rabid Dog, Swamp Thing, Mike the Tiger, Bayou Bengal. If you're looking for fun, uncensored, and with all the political correctness going on with the positivity, stay positive on all this. If you're really wanting to throw that out the window, go see them and like them on Facebook. That's SEC Uncensored. They've got uncensored memes, trash talk, you name it, they've got it. Josh, welcome back into the show, my friend.
Welcome. Good to be back.
All right. So we're coming off of yet another loss, and it's starting. You know how when things start to get repetitive, you just start getting numb to it. Well, we're coming off of a 33-10 loss in Battle of the Boot. And I don't understand why Coach Bielema is still not playing T.J. Hammonds. Last week against Coastal Carolina, he ran out of his mind. Mm-hmm. So what did you see in that game that nobody has seen all season? Is because it was 7-7, knotted up at 7 going into halftime, and you're thinking that, oh my gosh, maybe Arkansas's got a shot. And then they just like it's been since Missouri last year, they just have that epic collapse going into the second half and get outscored 21-3.
Well, I felt pretty good when I think LSU went down and scored the opened the second half, go up 13-7 because they missed the extra point. But then we went right back down and kicked a field goal. We made it 13-10, so I felt pretty good after that. I thought, okay, maybe this is going to be a different second half team.
It's been middle of October since Austin Allen has took a snap. Did you see a difference in him? Most people said that, the offensive line looked better. Even the guys on 103.7 The Buzz has said that the offensive line has kind of come together here in the last couple of weeks. Did you see that too, or is that just...
From what I saw, I think he only got sacked, one time?
One time.
One time. So if you look at the past games, how many times he's been sacked? He's been sacked 3-4 times, been rushed a bunch. So I thought the offensive line played fairly decent.
To me, he still looked like he was trying to he wasn't ready to throw that long ball. I don't know if that was, I don't know if it was because of his shoulder or what. He just didn't look like he was trying to even anywhere close to throwing that long ball like we're used to seeing, and that may have had an effect. But Brett Bielema again comes out and says there's no regression, there's no stepping back, we're close. I don't see where we're close to. Our defense has actually taken a step back than last year.
He's been saying that since after the TCU game.
We're close. I agree. So you're coming off of that LSU loss, and then we all wake up Sunday morning and we see that our second string, the future, the franchise as people have been calling it, Cole Kelly, arrested for driving while intoxicated. He bounced off of a sidewalk, a curb. Same thing. But the funny thing is I found out about that, is it was at the corner of Steamboat.
Yeah, the corner of Steamboat.
What'd you think about that? Steamboat.
Ironic, I guess. That was kind of funny. He made a mistake, obviously. He's a young kid. He's going to learn from it. He's suspended for the Mississippi State game. I don't know what his status will be for the Missouri game, but it's going to be interesting to see if he'll be playing for the Missouri game or not.
He is out indefinitely. I don't foresee him playing again.
Which I don't really,
leads me into asking, what effect does this have on the team?
Austin Allen, if he gets injured, you're going to go into your story. So
you think if he re-aggravates the shoulder, do you honestly think we're going to see Ty's story? Because the only time we've ever seen him was he took 3 different knees on War Memorial Stadium during the Florida A&M game at the beginning of the season. That's all we've seen of him.
Exactly, but like I said, he's taking snaps this week, getting ready for Mississippi State, because if Austin Allen goes down, he's the backup now. So, it's possible we might see him.
Talking about Mississippi State, they played Alabama. I sat here and watched that game, and Alabama almost got beat. I mean, you saw number 1 Georgia go down. You saw number 3 get blown out. You saw at number 2 Alabama last week just almost get upset.
Mm-hmm. How about them Hurricanes? Wow.
We'll get into that a little bit of that later. Do you see where this could be a blowout this weekend?
Mississippi State game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an early morning start, 11 a.m., so I think that might maybe play in Arkansas's favor, possibly, because Mississippi State just got done playing a very emotional game against Alabama, and they may come out a little flat.
True.
And if that does happen, then maybe Arkansas can get on them pretty quick. But we're going to have to play 4 quarters we're going to have to go 4 quarters hard if we want any chance to win this game. And one thing that impressed me about Mississippi State was their offensive line was pushing Alabama's defensive line back.
See, that's what concerns me
that was impressive.
We're not that team that plays 4 quarters. We play either the first half or the second half. We've never played
the second half.
And here lately we've never played the second half. I fear that they're going to get up early and that'd be it. I mean, and Mississippi State's going to coast. But one thing we have to look forward to, and I know everybody has seen it, is the basketball team. The basketball team is rolling this year. I know we're only 2 games in, but and everybody was saying, "Oh, they look sluggish during the exhibition games." But do you realize this is the first time in 70 years, since the 1947-1948 year, that we opened the season with consecutive wins of at least 28 points?
Yeah, I saw that the other day in the paper or on Facebook
or
something. So, yeah, basketball team's rolling right now.
We've got a 50-point scoring margin in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
16 dunks in 2 games, the most dunks in consecutive games in the Mike Anderson era.
They're fun to watch.
They are. They're fun. I've never been this excited about it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
We've got Fresno State coming in Friday, November the 17th at 7 p.m. on SEC Network Plus. That should be the alternate channel. If anything changes, we'll have it posted on the Facebook page. What do you see out of Fresno State when they roll into Bud Walton this week?
I'd say a talented team. They got a big front court. Their average size in the front court's like 6'8". They got this one player, I believe he's a guard, and his last name's Hopkins. But
any relation?
Yeah, he had a double-double in their last game. So this is another team that's going to be coming into Bud Walton Arena. They're 2-0. They're going to be confident. They're going to be ready to go. They've scored over 90 points in the first 2 games. So it's going to be interesting to see how we handle success, because now we won 2-0 and the players are starting to hear how great they are. Are they going to be able to block that out and focus on the Fresno State?
Right.
So they're a dangerous team. They're not a team to take lightly.
So we're going to get to the breaking news. If you've been keeping up with Arkansas sports here lately, you know that the athletic director and the head coach of the Arkansas football team has been embattled. Everybody's been calling for their firing. Well, today it happened. Jeff Long has been fired as the athletic director of the University of Arkansas. The university released an official statement here not too long ago stating that while we praise him on the accomplishments that he's made, the money that he's raised for the university, the expansions of the football, the Reynolds Razorback Stadium, the expansion of the sports complex, over the past year. However, over the past year, he has lost the faith in the fan base. He's lost alumni, boosters, and they're saying that that's not what they want when it comes to this university. So they parted ways with him this morning. Is that a good thing or a bad thing going forward with 2 games left in the season as far as football is concerned, but also moving forward as a university and a program as a whole?
Well, first of all, I've never had any issues with Jeff Long. I know a lot of people had issues with him, but if you look at the athletic department as a whole, I think every sports team in Arkansas is doing well, except for football, maybe. Now, I understand football is the biggest money maker.
Football is 70% of the athletic department's revenue.
But other than football, I think every sports program up there's done good. But I think, what was the question? It was more.
What's that?
The question you just asked me.
Oh, so is it a good or a bad thing for the program moving forward, and how does this affect the football program by itself?
Good question. Moving forward, I think it's going to be. I thought Brett Bielema would be fired before Jeff Long. Now, with Jeff Long out the door,
one of the things that I've read, I know you haven't had a chance to read it all yet, but one of the things that I read was that the board wanted to fire Brett Bielema, but Jeff Long didn't agree with that, so they let Jeff Long go. They said, "Here, take me instead." Kind of like
I heard something about where Jeff Long wanted to give Bielema maybe another year, and
yeah,
one of the board members was like, "No, man."
So here's the question that's on everybody's mind, especially everybody that joined us here on Inside the Hog Pen. How does this affect Brett Bielema? I don't think he makes it. I think if honestly, if we get blown out by Mississippi State by at least 3 touchdowns or more, I don't think he makes it to Monday.
Well, the problem now is you're going to bring in an interim AD to take over. You go out. You just say you go ahead and fire Bielema. Who's going to be the AD at Arkansas?
Well, we don't know.
The head coach wants to know who he's working for.
Well, they named Julie. Let me look at my notes here. Julie Cromer Peoples as the interim athletic director. Mm-hmm. I think she's the. I guess the I don't want to sound sexist here. Forgive me. The women's athletic director, I guess.
Good question.
But I mean, everybody's praising this, and some people are not. They're not agreeing, but you've got most of the fan base going, okay, so the process has started.
If we fan base is looking at it, hey, we're making progress. Now the next step's going to be let's get rid of Bielema.
But here's the thing: you got 2 weeks left in the season. It's obvious right now we're not going bowling.
Mm-hmm. Unless we win the next 2 games.
Unless some freak accident happens.
No.
Nick Fitzgerald goes down. The entire first team goes down of Mississippi State, which I don't see happening. I don't see the point in waiting. And this is just me. I don't see the point in waiting an entire 2 weeks to get rid of it. I mean, if they fire him after the Mississippi State game, yeah, you're going to have the same issue that we had a few years back when Houston Nutt left and Reggie Herring stepped in for the Missouri game in the Cotton Bowl. That was an epic disaster. But why keep him on, especially if he loses this week? Because with the fight in the locker room, the Cole Kelly incident, drunk driving, the product on the field, it looks like he's just lost. It looks like he has lost the cohesion in this team. So why keep him on?
The only thing I can say Bielema now is the fact that we're bringing in a new interim, and that new interim may not want it. It's tough because I didn't see Jeff Long getting fired in the first place. I thought the last time the board of trustees met last week, no progress or no discussion was made as to. I bet there was discussion made.
That wasn't. That's probably true. No action. Let me rephrase this. No action was taken in the public view of Jeff Long or Brett Bielema. However, when things go south, he kind of disappears off of Twitter. He hasn't been active on Twitter in about a month and a half or so.
Yeah, so back to your point about Bielema, it wouldn't surprise me if he's here for the next 2 games at all now. But if they're going to make a move with Bielema, they need to do it pretty quickly because other schools are opening up. As Tennessee opened up, which I think we're going to talk about here shortly.
Yep.
Tennessee has opened up. Florida's looking for a new coach.
You're looking at A&M.
A&M's possible right now. So
Ole Miss. I mean,
Ole Miss is looking. So
6 out of the 14 teams may probably have new coaches.
Mm-hmm. And you got the early signing period coming up. So
right.
we need to have a new coach in place before the early signing period.
You remember back in the 99, 2000, I do believe, Boo Williams, wide receiver for under Houston Nutt.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He came out and said that we need to go back and get Houston Nutt. Nobody bleeds Razorback red as well as Houston Nutt. Do you think that ship has sailed, or is there a way that we could get him back?
Well, I'm going to be straight honest with you about this. I have never really been a Houston Nutt fan.
Yeah, I know. I've heard. Look, we've been friends long enough, and we've broken down games.
I think I did a cartwheel when he got fired. When he got fired back in 2007 or
well, here's the thing, though.
So.
I mean, here's the thing. Do you think? I mean, because Gus Malzahn could possibly come back. Mm-hmm. You know, he did just beat the number 1 team in the country, but if he doesn't beat Alabama, does that just? I mean, are they going to get rid of him? I mean, Tommy Tuberville went 8-4, 9 had multiple.
Tuberville won 7 in a row, I believe, against Alabama.
Yeah, and he got fired. That's how serious they take it.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Boo Williams coming out publicly and saying you need to go get this guy back?
He's supporting his own coach. He's got love.
But see,
for
that's
his
the
own
thing.
coach, so.
Most of the fan base is saying that we need to go get Houston Nutt back. This is the same fan base that 10 years ago
was split.
Ran him out of town.
Yeah. We had airplanes flying over the stadium saying fire Nutt.
So
now.
here's my thing though. Here's my thing. All right, go with me on this. Let's say we bring him back. All right. Let's say, and I apologize for the sniffles in the water bottle. I'm still trying to get over the allergies here. It's raining outside today, so that's making it worse. Let's say we bring him back, and he goes 5-7 his first year because they're not his players. Mm-hmm. Do you know how bad people are going to want to hang him?
Well, they bring him back, go 5-7. I don't think any coach who comes here or goes on top of the hill this next year, the fans really don't expect all that much. Expect maybe actually, I'm gonna backtrack for a minute. Our schedule is very favorably. Our schedule is very favored next year because we don't play none of the big East teams. We got Vanderbilt, Missouri, and our biggest non-conference games at Colorado State. So with a team coming back with experience, winning 6 games not out of the question. So whoever the new coach is, I think, you got to give them a pass maybe the first year, but there's no. We should get 6 wins next year.
And here's the thing: Paul Feinbaum, which if you can, I don't know if you can hear it. We're watching it here in the background, trying to keep up with any kind of breaking news. He keeps praising Gus Malzahn and saying that Gus Malzahn's coming back to Arkansas. Is there any truth to that? I mean, our head coach hasn't even been fired yet, and we're already talking, oh, well, he could come, or he could come. Now that Jeff Long is gone, I think it happens. I think Brett Bielema's fate has been sealed now that they have moved and have moved past Jeff Long. And again, on my way over, I was listening to Out of Bounds, 103.7 The Buzz, 1 to 4 Monday through Friday with Big Dave and Eric, and they said that it's very possible he could become the next president of the NCAA.
Jeff Long. I can see that because
he's got the resume for it.
He's got a great resume. I thought he did a decent job at Arkansas. I mean, if you look at his track record, he brought in Mike Anderson. Basketball is on the rise right now. Everybody knows about a track team. I heard gymnastics is doing really, really good right now. Softball team's doing good. I mean, every sports team up there is doing well except for football. And And you look at the when did Bielema come in? 2012,
2012. December of 2012. His first season was the 2013-2014
Okay,
season.
if you look at Bielema's resume up at the Big Ten, he had a better record than Nick Saban.
He did,
So-
but the problem is he was 3-8 against the big three up there: Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State.
Man, I think he was 0-3 in the Rose Bowl. Mm-hmm. If I remember correctly.
And that's, you know,
But he's got 3 Big Ten championships. Got three consecutive, if I remember correctly.
right.
So, I mean, I can understand the hire. I mean, you're like, oh, okay, we got another, I'm not going to say Nick Saban type coach, but he was 69-21, something like that.
Well, the thing about it is when he was hired back in 2012, you got to think we were coming off of the John L. Smith era, Smile, State of Alabama, all these weird press conferences. You know, the kneeling at 4th and 1 on the goal line instead of kicking a field goal. Just, I mean, a humiliating, you know, what are we doing kind of season in Fayetteville. So when you got a guy that has the resume of Brett Bielema, 3 trips to the Rose Bowl, 3 Big Ten titles, you know, all of this, you know, first-round draft pick in Russell Wilson, you're thinking, okay, home run hire. But you get down here to the nitty-gritty of the SEC, and you start realizing this is not this isn't as easy as it looks. This isn't as easy of a conference. That it's, you know, they don't call the SEC West the hardest division in college football for no reason. You know, I get it. You've got the likes of Alabama, LSU, Auburn, 3 contenders that are always going to be at or near the top. Mm-hmm. Especially Alabama with Nick Saban still at the helm at Alabama.
Year after year.
I mean, the man doesn't rebuild, he reloads. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, recruiting. It all goes back to recruiting. You know? So, back in 2012, and you and I talked about it. You know, we even thought, oh my God, we're going to have SEC titles. We're going to contend for a national title. But it just never produced. It never came about. Now, we thought about it at the 2014-2015 season when we went 8-5. We thought, okay, next year 9-3, the following year 10-2. Here we are 2 years removed from that. And we're still sitting at, you know, and I get they want to recruit uncommon young men. And I'm not taking anything away from the student athletes on the Hill. You know, I'm 30 years old. You're 30. Close. 34. You know, we've watched Razorback football. We've been in their shoes. Mm-hmm. You know, we were 18, 19, 21, 20 years old at that, one point in time. So, and I'm not taking any away from the athletes. And I get you want to recruit men of character. But Fitz Hill on Drive Time Sports said it best the other day. You can recruit athletes, and then the coaches are the ones that take it upon themselves to build that character on and off the football field. Develop the players.
Man, you really haven't seen any development.
And you haven't.
Since you got there.
And even, I mean, you look at the likes of Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp, Nick Saban especially, Dan Mullen. All these coaches, when something goes wrong on the field, they're right there in that player's face.
Right there coaching them up.
Right there coaching them up. But they're also,
moment.
yeah. I have seen Brett Bielema work the refs more than I have his own team.
Bielema, when something goes wrong, he kind of just, over the sidelines as the camera shows him, he looks lost. Mm-hmm. I mean, quite frankly, he looks lost. And I think another issue with what hurt Bielema maybe is, was it end of 2014, 15? It's when he went down to Texas.
He went down to Texas and said, if you run the spread, we're going to kick your butt.
Exactly.
He burned every high school coach in the state when he said that.
And that was a big mistake because if you want to build a good program here at Arkansas, mm-hmm. you got to be able to recruit out of Texas. And when he did that, a lot of players kind of just turned away from him.
So moving to the SEC as a whole, there's still a lot to talk about. It could get frosty down in Florida. Like that pun, didn't you? Scott Frost. What's the possibility of Scott Frost going to Florida? That seems to be either that or the name been thrown around now is Chip Kelly.
From my understanding right now, Chip Kelly is #1 candidate right now. Scott Frost, I read something on Facebook earlier today that Nebraska has showed great, even though Nebraska hasn't fired their coach yet, but they have shown great interest in Scott Frost, and they're going to pursue him. It looks like they're pursuing him right now, from the understanding I have. So
I got to ask though, and I've asked you every week on the show since you came out with it and kind of blindsided me with it. Are you still stuck on Gary Patterson leaving TCU at the end of the year?
If the right situation happens, I think it's possible. But it's got to be the right situation for him and his family. I mean, he's done what he can at TCU. I mean, he's turned him into a top 20 program. He's one of the best defensive line coaches out there. The move to the Big 12 helped him because now he's in a Power 5 conference.
Right.
And he has an opportunity. Maybe if he can win, I don't think he's going to win the Big 12 this year. I think they just play their way out of it, losing Oklahoma.
Right.
I think.
It's a possibility.
So, but, you know, he might want to move. He said in a press conference that if the right job opens up, you know, he would listen. So
I'm still saying we go get a coach. I mean, even if we go get Kevin Kelly out of Pulaski Academy, a high school coach, he's an up-and-comer. You know, even he has come out and said, okay, so y'all don't want to pay that much money. Pay me $300,000 every time I win a football game. Mm-hmm. Every time he wins. Yeah, every time he wins.
That's not gonna happen.
No, but think about it.
I understand what you're saying, but it's not gonna happen.
Think about it though. You win 10 games, you win $300 million.
And there's no way they're gonna pay a coach $300 million. No,
there's
no way.
No, I take that back. That's $3 million. My fault.
But,
math is not my strong suit.
There's a little off there.
That was a little bit off. You know, $30 million. I don't know what I'm thinking.
$3 million.
There we go. Anyway, but the point is you pay him by wins, and you don't pay him when he loses. That way, he has something to play for. You know. So, as many of you are aware, last week it was Georgia and Auburn, with Auburn just beating the dog out of Georgia. No offense, and no pun intended. Well, maybe a little, but. Now that all the talk was if he couldn't beat Georgia and he couldn't beat Alabama, Gus Malzahn was out. And there's a possibility he could come to Arkansas. We covered that earlier.
Like there is a possibility. So
he put the whooping on Georgia. Does that keep him around another year? Or do we have to wait and see? Does the Iron Bowl play any kind of a factor being that it's Alabama?
I think with the whooping he put on Georgia, I think he's safe at Auburn right now. Regardless of what happens in the Alabama game. And right now, I think Auburn may be favored in that game too. So going into the Iron Bowl,
that kind of surprises me. I mean, even Nick Saban has said that we like playing as underdogs, but they haven't been an underdog.
When was the last time they were underdog?
And
it was Georgia. I think back in when Alabama went
700, almost 750 days,
and they demolished Georgia when they were the underdog.
Yeah. So. But last and certainly not least, when we're covering the SEC as a whole, is Butch Jones is officially out at Tennessee. Him and Brett Bielema have the same record. Do you think that affects? Excuse me. You think that was a desperate move by the Tennessee administration, or do you think that they actually have their eye on somebody? And anybody who comments and says Gruden is the next coach at the University of Tennessee is not happening. He came out and said, I have no interest at all in taking the Tennessee job. I mean, would you want to leave ESPN, a cozy booth, making $10 million for working 3 days a week?
Yeah, there's no way. I think he's shown interest that he would like to coach again, but he's not going to be coaching college football. He'll be coaching NFL when he comes back.
No. And that also plays into the whole Brett Bielema thing. They have the same record overall.
And they came in at the same time.
Neither one of them produced. They showed sparks.
Mm-hmm.
I really think Brett Bielema is the next one to go.
I don't know what's going to happen on top of the hill now, because I didn't see Jeff Long getting fired today. I was like, Jeff Long's safe. He's got about, I was leaning towards 60-40, 60 of him staying, 40 maybe him being fired. And it shows how much I know. But,
we welcome your feedback. We welcome your comments, all your questions, anything you want to talk about. That's what we're here for. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this weekend, 11 o'clock, Mississippi State, go see my friends out of Boudreaux's Bar and Grill out in 9811 Maumelle Boulevard in North Little Rock, just off of I-430. They've got drink specials in every quarter. There's shot specials. If we're leading, they've got fireball specials. And if we're leading by enough, by the fourth quarter, they'll be $1 a shot. So go out there and see my friends. Go see Justin. Go see Brandon. Go see the guys. Go see Roger Scott. Get you some free stuff. If anything breaking comes back, whether it be Brett Bielema, more about Jeff Long, or any other breaking news will come in. Other than that, Saturday I'll be on the air about 10:30 for our pregame show breaking down Mississippi State and Arkansas. We'll be back here on postgame probably that night. Josh and I will. And like I said, comments, questions, anything you guys will need, go see my friends over at Boudreaux's and check out SEC Uncensored. I am Razorback Zach. You've been watching Inside the Hog Pen. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you back here on Saturday.